So when you're coloring in your ice cream, some things you need to be aware of is one, vanilla ice cream is not white. It has kind of a creamy color to it, so a lot of times I like to look for something a little lighter. And let's say I'm doing vanilla ice cream here. And remember, the light's coming this way, so this side's going to be lighter and it's going to get darker as I go this way. So I'm just going to kind of very gently start out again with one color, because this is all going to be vanilla ice cream. Go right up against there, and then of course we're going to start working it so that it gets lighter to darker. So I'm just going to start adding in some more color, or more pop of color right there. So it should have this transition where it's lighter to darker. And sometimes, like when the syrup is here, you might have some shadow going on because of the way the syrup is dripping onto your ice cream. So you might have a little darker line around it, and just kind of beefing that up. So like I'm going to make this area darker, and then it's going to be lighter as I go across the way. I'm going to kind of just color in that section where the ice cream is going to be, and I'm just going to have it light to dark. There might be a little bit more darkness because of the bowl interacting along the bottom edge in here. So we're going to have that little bit of a shadow because, you know, the ice cream sitting in the bowl. So we want to make sure that that's really setting up nicely. And then I go from there. When I'm ready for the syrup, I have a nice brown here called cocoa, it looks like. And I'm going to color in the syrup. Now the syrup, okay, remember this side is darker than this side because the light's coming in from the side. It's coming in this direction. So I'm going to always have the light side and then the dark side. So I'm going to have that transition. So I'm going to color it in really lightly at first. And then I have to think about also highlighting, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But you're just going to start coloring this in. I kind of like to go with the direction of the ice cream or the curvature, so I kind of do curvy lines when I color in. I don't just do a straight up and down. I kind of go with the direction of the ice cream and syrup. So I'm going to fill this in. Oh, like a little bit of hair right there. Now this side is the light side, so I need to keep this lit. And you know, ice cream's also shiny, or the syrup is also shiny. So I want to make sure that there's opportunity to have a little bit of a shine to it. So the light's coming this way, so this side is going to be your dark side of that drip. And then of course it kind of fades out a little bit as it goes to that to the light side. And then this side's going to be a little bit darker. And this is going to help make it look like it's really on top of your ice cream. So we want to make that syrup look like it's really sitting there and dripping down and being all luscious and yummy. And I'm making myself hungry doing this. So notice I'm just doing the left-hand side of my drips. And the reason why is because the light's coming in from the right. So this side right here is the shadow side. So I'm going to have it a little bit darker. I'm going to add some more color to that, make it a little bit darker, having it transition to the lighter side. So I'm going to keep on working that surface. And it's going to be gradual. It's not like super straight line, like, oh my gosh, there's a really hard line there. We're going to have it kind of gradually get there. And I might find myself going over this a couple times. So just like that, starting to get darker as I go over on this side. And then don't forget the drip. So I'm just making it a little bit darker. And you notice this side's lighter. And that's what I want. I want it to have that lightness to it. And this side's getting darker because that is where the shadow is. So just like the ice cream that's colored this kind of creamy yellow color, you're going to do the same thing with the chocolate syrups. And kind of getting that one side really dark and the other side should be lighter because that's where the light is hitting it. And you can kind of see how it looks like it's three-dimensional now because I've added shading and shadow to it. And that's what we're looking for, that ability to make things look three-dimensional by adding shadow and shading. And highlighting. Highlighting is where you are adding a light spot. And that's where if you had an eraser, you can easily pull out a shine. So just like this, you can, let's say if you want this to be shiny, you just kind of pull out a piece of that color and then kind of, you can make it even like, make it look like a window or something like that if you wanted to. So you're just kind of pulling out that little bit of shine that you would see sometimes on wet items, like, or really shiny surfaces. You might see that little glimmer of white light that you would see once in a while. So depending on the light shades. So. And then you just keep on working on it.